Alright, we are in for a different kind of video today. I usually do like reviews, as you see if you look at my channel at all. But we're actually gonna go over some casting announcements for an upcoming movie. And if you clicked on it, you know that it's gonna be the new Superman movie, Superman Legacy. This is the first entry in the kinda sorta rebooted DC universe that's gonna be run by James Gunn and Peter Safran. This is the first full movie in that. Although James Gunn is saying that Blue Beetle is technically the first character. So if people respond well to that character, they'll just kind of transfer him over into this new stuff. But Superman Legacy is being considered to be the first DCU movie. But if you want to count Blue Beetle, I'm sure that's gonna be what a lot of people do. But I'm glad that there is a break since this comes out in a little under 2 years. This comes out in July 2025. Well, at least right now, because as of today, SAG just went on strike. With these castings and also character reveals of who's going to be in this movie, even if it's in small roles, I feel like we're getting a little bit of connective tissue of what James Gunn could be pulling from for this new iteration of the DC universe. And in my opinion, I think it's just like those animated Justice League cartoons. I mentioned in my Flash review of just how a lot of that movie, specifically the opening of the movie, felt like came right out of the old Justice League animated series, as well as Justice League Unlimited. And I feel like we're going to be getting that vibe here. We're going to knock the first two out of the park right now. These were announced a couple weeks ago, and I never got the chance to talk about it until right now. We have a new Superman and Lois. David Corenswet is playing Superman. I haven't seen a bunch of things that he's in, but the one thing I have seen him in is he had a very big supporting role in Pearl, the A24 horror movie with Mia Goth. And I think he did a great job in it. I also saw this clip on Twitter going around of, I'm not sure what it's from, but it was him in like an army outfit, and he gave a lot of Clark Kent vibes in that, and I liked, if that's going to be this iteration, I think that's a pretty decent pick here. Rachel Brosnahan, mainly known for the lead role in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and also I'm Your Woman, which is another Amazon movie that I thought was pretty good. She's playing Lois. I feel like that's a good pick for Lois. Just in general, I think I've watched a good amount of Mrs. Maisel, and she is a pretty capable actress. She has a lot of good comedic timing, and also is a good dramatic actress as well, so I'm all for this. Now we're gonna get into the castings of, like, why I'm getting the Justice League animated show vibes. Being plucked over from James Gunn's last DC movie, The Suicide Squad, is Nathan Fillion. He's been in a lot of things, but he's been in a lot of DC stuff as in a lot of the earlier animated movies, he has voiced Hal Jordan in those movies, and he's done a great job. But now he is a Green Lantern in live action, but now he's playing Guy Gardner, which I think it's really funny that you spend a good chunk of your career voicing a beloved DC character, and then you're cast as Guy Gardner. Not saying that there aren't any Guy Gardner fans out there. I honestly don't read a lot of comics, but after I brushed up a little bit, Guy Gardner is a more obnoxious kind of type, and honestly, I'm sure he's gonna have a pretty small role in this. The next one on the list is Hawkgirl, played by Isabella Merced. The things I've seen her in, she was in that live-action Dora the Explorer movie from like 5 years ago, where she played Dora, and she also had a small role, well, not a small role, she had a pretty big supporting role in Sicario: Day of the Soldado. I like her as an actress. For Hawkgirl, we don't know which iteration it is, whether it's a Kendra or Shiera. I think that's just gonna be figured out where, like, when that gets down the line. I'll put money on it that I think it's gonna be Kendra, but that's just me. The next character on the list is Mr. Terrific. I don't know much about Mr. Terrific personally, but one comic run that I did get was Future's End from DC, which was like this post-apocalyptic thing with Batman Beyond. I really liked that story, and Mr. Terrific had a pretty big role in that, and I liked his character in there. He will be played by Edi Gathegi. If you don't know who he is, if you've seen X-Men First Class, he played Darwin in that, and of course the big joke of, oh, they killed the one X-Men that couldn't die. So I don't know. He has new life, and I haven't seen him in anything outside of First Class, but in terms of looks, I'm all for it. The last casting announcement we got was for one of my favorite actors working right now, Anthony Carrigan. He is mainly known right now as NoHo Hank in Barry, when he just got nominated for an Emmy for. I hope he wins. But in the world of DC, he's actually been in DC. He played Victor Zsasz in Gotham. I remember, I haven't watched all of Gotham, but I remember him coming in maybe like the last season I watched. And I completely forgot he played Zsasz in that, and out of the clips I saw, just like, like to refresh my memory for this, I thought he was a good pick for that. In Superman Legacy, he will be playing Metamorpho. And now there's that connective tissue there with both Mr. Terrific and Metamorpho being members of the Terrifics. And so I'm pretty sure that means we're getting Plastic Man in this universe, maybe even in this movie? I have no idea. But if that's true, get Ben Schwartz to play him. He'd be great. That's all the casting announcements that have been put out. There are a couple characters that are known to be in this movie. Lex Luthor is going to have a big role in this. He has not been cast yet. Personally, I want Glenn Howerton to play. That's just me. There's also a rumor going around that there are going to be a couple members of the Authority who are getting their own movie in this cinematic universe in here, but I don't know if that's true. Same thing with a plot around this movie. There was one going around a little bit. I'm not going to say it, though, because I have no idea if it's true. If you want my opinion on it, I think it's fine, but it is very similar to Black Adam, and we all know how Black Adam went. Now, the big thing here is a lot of debate on social media has been popping up about this. Is this too much for a Superman movie? I know some people who just want a Superman movie, and I don't blame you. I think a Superman movie is pretty cool. I liked Man of Steel. I liked the first Christopher Reeves one. I haven't seen the other ones, and I will watch them. But I just think, if you think this is too much, that is a valid concern. James Gunn has said on social media that this is very much focused on Superman and Lois. So I don't think Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and Metamorpho are going to have major roles in this. If anyone was going to have more of a supporting role, I would think Mr. Terrific. But out of all of these, I don't think this is a bad idea that we are already having a universe where they're used to superheroes being there. Like, whether or not they've been there already, whether or not there's a Justice League already, I think that might jump the gun just a little bit. But the fact that there are already heroes there is a good sign to me. And I'll add that it's a good concept on paper, they just gotta get it right. You know my thoughts on the Zack Snyder trilogy of movies, well, sort of trilogy, I guess, and when I talked about those movies for the DCEU Marathon. What I will say is, I don't mind the idea of all these different heroes, especially the big ones, already being in those universes. I'm not a fan of how Zack Snyder did it, though. We saw their logos on an email in Batman vs. Superman, and that was it. I don't think that's the best idea to do it. If you're gonna show them, at least, God, I'm praising Suicide Squad 2016, at least they showed Flash for a scene. And, oh my god, I just praised Suicide Squad 2016. Either way, it is all up to the execution of this. I feel like this is a good idea from, saying there are already superheroes here, don't worry about it. And I think that's a good alternate to what the MCU did when they started and was slowly bringing in other heroes movie by movie. And I feel like you can have it one way or the other, but you can't have them both ways. You can't just show a picture of them, Don't show just the logo. To me, at least, it felt forced. Alright, that's going to be the end of this video. If you didn't know much about Superman Legacy now, what are your thoughts of the pieces slowly coming together for this movie? And what do you think of these casting picks? If you are into DC Comics and all this stuff, do you think that these are good picks? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!